Anthropic just gave Claude a whiteboard. Interactive diagrams, flowcharts, data visualizations built live inside the chat while you talk to it. I already recorded a full demo and I'll walk you through it at the end of this video. But first, 3 more AI stories from this week that directly impact your business. Starting with something my co-founder did yesterday that genuinely blew my mind. Last Wednesday, OpenAI released GPT-5.4. And honestly, I almost didn't even make it a story. New model, faster, smarter. We hear that every month. But then my co-founder tried something. He opened the Pro version, described our ideal customer profile, and basically said, go find them. GPT 5.4 Pro went out and crawled over 51,000 websites. Not from a database, not from Apollo or Zoom info. It went through the actual internet and came back with a list of companies that match our profile. Now, is that a ready-to-go list? Probably not. It's raw data. You still need to filter it, find the email addresses, and enrich the leads. But as a starting point, we've been doing outbound for months and no tool has ever given us this level of market coverage. Not even close. Here is what you need to know to try this yourself. GPT 5.4 Pro is only available on the $200 a month ChatGPT Pro plan. The regular $20 plus plan gives you GPT 5.4 Thinking, which is also a real upgrade for everyday tasks. But the deep research power, the kind that crawls thousands of sites, that's the Pro version. The biggest upgrade in simple terms, you can now give it 1 million tokens of context. That means you can literally paste an entire 300-page book into the chat and it still remembers the first page when it comes to the last one. One quick heads up, OpenAI also killed GPT 4.0 and GPT 5.1 this week. If you had any automation or workflows running on those models, they likely broke on Tuesday. Worth checking. Now, those 51,000 leads we found, usually we'd clean and enrich them in a tool named Clay. But this week, Clay made a pricing move that changed our plans. And if you're a Clay user, you need to hear this. If you don't use Clay, you can skip ahead to the next timestamp. On Tuesday, Clay announced the biggest pricing change in the history. The headline sounds great. Data costs are down 50 to 90%. Their most powerful features, CRM sync, web intent tracking, their new ads product, moved to the growth plan at $495 a month. That's $305 cheaper than the old Pro plan for the same features. Sounds like a win. Here's what they don't say as loudly. They added a completely new cost layer called actions. Every single thing Clay does, every data lookup, every AI prompt, every workflow step now costs an action on top of your data credits. And things that used to be free like HTTP requests now also cost actions. We ran the numbers for our own workflows and under the new model we'd actually pay hundreds of dollars more a month. So we made the decision of building our own enrichment pipeline instead. But that's probably a story for another video. To be fair, if you run Clay for simple data lookups and don't run heavy automations, the new model might actually save you money. But if you're a power user running complex workflows, do the math before you switch. Critical deadline, you stay on your current plan by default. If you want to move to another legacy plan, you have until April 10th. After that, legacy options are gone. Alright, next story is a legal one. I know this is not the most exciting topic, but it actually has real consequences for everyone who uses AI to create content, and at this point this is basically all of us. On Monday, the European Parliament voted 460 to 71 for strict new AI copyright rules. And the part that matters the most, AI-generated content can't be copyrighted. If a machine made it, it belongs to everyone. And this isn't just Europe. In the US, the Supreme Court just confirmed the exact same principle in a case called Thaler versus Perlmutter. Same conclusion, no meaningful human involvement, no copyright protection. Let me spell out what this means basically. That blog post ChatGPT wrote for you, if you publish it without meaningfully rewriting it, anyone can use it for their own business and copy it. You have zero legal claim. Same goes for AI-generated ad copy, social media posts, email sequences. If a machine created it and you just hit publish, it's public domain. But, and this is important, it does not mean stop using AI. It means how you use it matters. You add your stories, your experiences, your data, your perspective. That version is your intellectual property. The EU is also pushing transparency rules. If you train AI on other people's content, you'll have to disclose it and potentially pay for it. It's not a law yet, but the direction is there. That means your real voice, your genuine experience, your proprietary data, these are now your most valuable assets. Because they're the one thing AI can't replicate and copyright can actually protect. And that brings us to the story I teased at the beginning. Not even 24 hours ago, Anthropic launched something that could fundamentally change how we use Claude. Till now, every AI chatbot worked the same way. You ask something, you get text back. Maybe an image if you specifically requested it. but always you read, you scroll, you read some more. Starting today, Claude builds visual explanations right inside the conversation. You ask it to explain a process, it draws a flowchart. You give it data, it builds an interactive chart. You ask it to map out a strategy, it creates a diagram you can actually click on and explore. And this isn't image generation. Claude isn't creating pictures. Think of it like giving it a whiteboard. It draws with code, HTML and SVG. If you say change the colors or add another step, it directly updates right there. What makes this different from artifacts, which Claude already had, is these visualizations live directly inside the chat. They're not in a side panel. They appear in the text exactly where they make sense, and they update as the conversation develops. It's like Claude is thinking visually now, not only verbally. So after that first example, I wanted to see what else it can do. I just asked Claude, what else can you show me? And it generated these interactive tiles where I can just pick what I want to see, like a menu. I'm not typing prompts anymore, I'm clicking options. I went with a color palette generator just to test it. And within minutes, Claude built a fully working tool right inside the chat. I can pick any color with this color picker, and it instantly generates shades, complementary colors, etc. I can hover over any swatch to see the hex code, click to copy it. This is a functioning app, built in real time inside a conversation. Now, a color palette tool is fun, but it's obviously not going to change how you run your business. I'm currently experimenting with more practical use cases. Once I find workflows that genuinely save time, I'll share them. Stay tuned for that. This is available to every Claude user, free plan included. You can try it out right now. And by the way, this wasn't the only thing Claude shipped in the last 7 days. They also launched scheduled tasks. You can now tell Claude to do things automatically on a timer. In this example, if you connected Claude to Notion every morning, it could give you an update on which tasks you should prioritize, how to plan your day, and which new tasks your co-founder assigned to you in the meantime. You can pick the frequency of the execution and the model that should run it. What's important is that scheduled tasks only run when your computer is awake. That's your week in AI. I hope that was more helpful than doom scrolling AI Twitter. I'm doing this every Friday. See you next week.